Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Mundo. Welcome to my page. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let's get to it, y'all. Damn. Man, I just listened to the Rory and Mal podcast, and I must say, I do believe them. Specifically on Joe giving them a percentage in the podcast. Now, this changes a lot of things from what Joe was initially saying. When Joe was going on his rant, he totally left that out when describing the situation between him, Mal, and Rory. Whether or not you're owner in the podcast or you're the bigger face, if you have a contract that says you own a percentage of the pie, then I think you do have the right to know how much the whole podcast is making. I do think they do have that right. If you're friends, it shouldn't be a big deal. I think you should keep everything transparent as possible. On Joe's side, he probably does a lot more legwork for the podcast, so he feels like he's entitled to more of what they're doing. And one important thing I noticed was Roy saying that, he talked about a title deal, and Joe kind of like shrugged him off. Joe doesn't seem like the guy that would take it like business advice or suggestions from his homies if they brought something in. He seems like he wants to be in full control and he wants to do everything. So when he says like, "What did you bring in?" that doesn't make sense to who he is as a person. It's actually interesting when you think about it, because everybody can tell the podcast did take a dip, especially in the energy of Roy and Ma. Like, everybody was just keeping quiet and not saying too much. But now we kind of understand a little bit more about what was going on. This kind of was a double-edged sword, because Joe probably was thinking like, why am I paying these guys? I'm having to carry the interesting and make all the investments in the podcast, and the interest, and this was because of the bad business that he was giving out. So they both go hand in hand. Joe is really preaching about Spotify, talking about about not showing their books and about valuing the creators and getting equity and so on and so forth. This really is a Dark Knight theory. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Joe really pulled a move that every suit or industry guy does. You get rid of the high-paying guys and the guys who are asking for more money, and replace them with guys who are serviceable and give them a rookie contract, so you end up making more money. It's really good business. You see this in the NFL all the time, especially with running backs who they get beat up. Whenever it's time to pay a running back, the owners think, why do I pay him? Why don't I just go into the draft and find a new running back with fresh legs and give him a rookie contract so I don't have to pay him all this money? The only difference is that these are actually your friends, bro. What are you doing? I only had like one pushback from the podcast, and that was Maul kind of insinuating that he was a reason for the increased views. I don't think he was really saying he was the reason, but I do believe in when he says that he brought good energy and like kind of the cool, quote unquote, and he really maybe like increased the quality of the show, and that's really a good thing. That's really useful towards the show. But the spike in views is really because of Joe's outside activities. Things that brought views with the Joe Budden rant. People want to see what he says behind closed doors. Linking up with successful YouTubers like academics to do an everyday struggle show. And really, to be honest, I do believe that a lot of the spike had to do with taking a lot of DJ Academics' audience to the show. And Everyday Struggle had like a bunch of viral moments, the Migos, the Yachties, and also Joe was on Love and Hip Hop, and also that viral moment where the kids came to his house or whatever. Ma also made a bad point about Joe's shows not selling out. Like, that really doesn't matter when you think about it. I mean, to be honest, I like Gilly, I like Nori. They're not selling out shows right now for their rap videos, but they both have the biggest shows in podcasts in hip hop right now. Also, you look at Boozy. I think Boozy does good with shows, but he's not popping as he was back in the day musically. But when he speaks, people listen because they find him interesting and funny. Man, I don't know. I think it was good for Joe's business. He does look terrible, though. I think, if you have a situation where you can cut costs on your co-host and still maintain most of the traffic, I think that's good business. I mean, that sucks because it's your friends, but, And also, I don't know in the future, this might affect his business. I don't know who would do business with Joe after this.